Something truly incredible is happening in the world of AI right now. And I'm not talking about just steady, incremental progress. We're talking about an explosion. So let's dive right in.
Okay, look at this. This one chart, it basically tells the whole story. For years, you see AI capability kind of ticking along, growing steadily. But then, right around 2022, everything changed. The curve just goes vertical. It's almost a straight line up. This, right here, is what people are calling the intelligence explosion. So the big question is, what does this insane, unprecedented growth actually mean?
Well, to really get a handle on that massive curve, we need to zoom in a bit. We need to look at the specific tests these AI models are taking. You can think of it like the AI's report card. Let's see how it's actually doing in each of its subjects.
All right, first up on the report card is something called the MMLU. Now, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like a massive, super comprehensive university entrance exam, but for an AI. It covers a staggering 57 different subjects. I mean, everything from professional law and medicine all the way to computer science and history. It is a brutal test of just raw knowledge.
And here's what's so wild. The speed of this climb is what's truly mind-boggling. I mean, just a few short years ago, AI models were, frankly, mediocre at this. Now, they're smashing through 90% accuracy. That's not just good, that's on par with human experts in these fields. So, you see, the AI isn't just catching up anymore. In many ways, it's already an expert.
Okay, so that's raw knowledge. But what about a different kind of intelligence? What about reasoning? Well, for that we have a test called GSM-8K. Now, this one uses grade school math word problems. And what's interesting is the real challenge isn't the math itself, it's about understanding the language, the story, and then reasoning through the steps to actually get to the solution. And historically, this has been incredibly tough for computers.
And here's the breakthrough. The top AI models are now solving over 95% of these problems correctly. Let that sink in. They aren't just crunching numbers, they're actually reasoning through language. That's a huge leap.
All right, so let's move on to a really practical, real-world skill, writing computer code. There's a test for this called Human Eval, and it's basically a coding challenge. You give the AI a simple description of a task, and its job is to write functional, working Python code to solve it. Just like a human programmer would.
And just look at this chart. The progress here it's absolutely staggering. Back in 2021, AI could solve less than 10% of these problems. It was basically a party trick, a novelty. But today, the best models are clearing over 70%. Think about that. In just a couple of years, AI has gone from being a total coding novice to a highly competent programmer.
So, okay, the individual grades are in, and they are nothing short of phenomenal. And this brings us to a really major turning point in this whole story, a new frontier that we are, right now, just beginning to cross.
I mean, these scores are seriously impressive, right? But it begs the question, where does this leave us?
This table really lays it out in black and white. For knowledge, that MMLU test, the AI is right there with human experts. For math reasoning, it's actually surpassing the experts. The takeaway here is huge. AI isn't just playing catch-up anymore. In a lot of these key areas, it's starting to pull ahead.
Just think about what this means. The top AI models are now performing at or above the 90th percentile of humans on these kinds of tests. By definition, that makes them world-class experts in these domains. Not just good, world-class.
So this expert-level capability, it brings us to what might be the single most important question of all. We've basically built this rocket ship of intelligence, and it's taking off like crazy. But how do we make sure we can steer it? This is what's known as the alignment challenge, making sure this incredibly powerful technology is safe and actually beneficial for all of us.
And it's not just outsiders saying this. The very people building this technology, they agree. They're quick to point out that it's a dual-use technology. Yeah, it could be extraordinarily useful, but it could also be really, really dangerous if we're not careful. The stakes, honestly, could not be higher.
And listen, this isn't some far-off science fiction scenario. The forecast, based on these trend lines, is that by 2027, that's just a few years away, these general AI systems will likely outperform human experts in most domains. Not some of them, most. The pace is just relentless.
You know the saying, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Well, in this case, with great power comes a great need for guardrails.
It means that this race to build ever more capable AI has to be matched by an equally urgent and equally well-funded race to make sure it's actually safe for all of us.
So what does that safety work look like? Well, it focuses on a few really key areas. There's scalable oversight. That's basically, how do we teach an AI our complex human values? There's interpretability. Can we actually look inside the AI's brain and understand how it's thinking? Then there's robustness, making sure it's reliable and doesn't break in unexpected ways. And finally, honesty, so that we can actually trust what it tells us. And believe me, each one of these is a massive scientific challenge all on its own.
So we kind of end up right back where we started, looking at an explosion. The raw intelligence is here and is growing at a rate we've literally never seen before in history. And that leaves us with one final really important question to think about. The intelligence is exploding, but is our wisdom keeping pace?